welcome. You're watching the stock game right here on Etina, and I'm Baby Nandanan.
Hi Marwan, Dabash, and welcome to all of our viewers. We've got our three experts who are lined up with us all ready to play BNS and the stock game on day 4. And you should be following your favorite experts and seeing the kind of gains they're making. But first, to the rules. What we do is we have a portfolio building exercise in the game by doling out a sum of 5 lakh rupees to each of our three experts who join in from Monday right up until Friday, and they have to pick out 4 stocks in the equity markets. One stock can be chosen from the F&O space, and a compulsory churn of 2 stocks every day is required. In addition, if a stop loss is triggered or a target is achieved, then they have to change those 2 stocks. Tomorrow is D-Day, and we will see who the winner of BNS and the stock game between BVL and Shastri, Ashwini Gujral and Rajat Bose is at 3:30. But first, let's walk you through their picks on day 3.
All right, and we've been seeing our three experts playing it out, battling it out to see who takes the top spot in the stock game. This is Mr. Shastri's portfolio. As of yesterday, he went long. He had a long-only portfolio of Bharti Airtel, CCS is what he had, Grasim Industries and Advanta, where he lost quite a hefty sum. On to Ashwini's portfolio. As of day 3, he was again short on all of the stocks there, so very bearish outlook there by Ashwini. DCB, United Breweries, Anant Raj and IOB were the stocks that he went short on. And finally, coming to Rajat Bose and his portfolio, this is what he had. He too had a long-only portfolio. So he went long on a Glenmark Pharma, bought a Punjloy June Futures, Hindalco, as well as IDFC were the other 2 stocks that he went long on. But before we go ahead and take you through that calculator plate, let's bring on board our 3 experts and ask them what they have chosen for this particular day and how they expect the last day to pan out for them. We'll start off with you, Mr. Shastri. Yesterday, not a very, good day for you in terms of money to be made in the portfolio, but today I'm sure you've made changes and they should be auguring well for you.
Yeah, in fact, the strategy that I followed in the past 2 days was basically gain on gain, basically gain on the stock to give gain for the portfolio, but that did not work out well because specific individual stocks were showing uptrend only for the half day, and during the latter part of the day they were getting pressurized due to the general market sentiment, and they have been giving up their gains. So given that scenario, I feel that when the overall market sentiment is negative, as Ashwini was rightly quoting for the past 2 days, the strategy now at this point of time is to ride along with the market. So when the overall sentiment is negative, better sell, go for short selling. That may give good gains. That is the reason today I have replaced the whole yesterday's lot with the new ones like Jindal Poly, Pantaloon Retail and SKS Micro and Unitech. Basically, I have a sell call on these 4 stocks, and so far so they have been working out well.
Okay, so a new strategy being adopted by Mr. Shastri with his 4 new picks, all sell calls coming in. Let's go across to Ashwini Gujral, who's been absolutely consistent from day 1 in terms of his strategy as well as in terms of the kind of gains that he's been clocking in. So Ashwini, in addition to running us through what you've got for your portfolio on day 4, do you think that you'd be able to perhaps make a lakh by the end of the session tomorrow?
Let's see if I'm lucky, because the markets are tending to fall by the second half of the day. The important question these days is to protect your money. Whatever you make is a bonus, because as a trader I like to play defense more than offense. Anyway, the stocks for the day are sell Raymond, sell RCF, buy core projects and sell Lakshmi Vilas Bank.
All right, so finally a ray of a light of green there in his entire portfolio, maybe looking slightly bullish on a core projects. After 2-3 days of continuous selling in his portfolio, he's finally picked out a core project to go long on. Goes to see if he manages to touch that magical figure of 1 lakh rupees by the end of the week. Come to you, Rajat, and you picked out 2 stocks to sell on day 4.
Yeah, right. Actually, today I sort of balanced it out. I mean, Alok Industries and Jindal Steel, June Futures are sale candidates in my trading portfolio today, and Bhujan Steel and Hotel Lila, they are buy trades. The reasons are specific to the stocks or the counters themselves. If they are showing weakness, I've chosen them to short, and if they are showing strength, I've chosen them to go long. But this is somewhat problematic case today, because uh, I mean, the market can bounce back, already giving a bounce back, and if it were to trade above, say, 53.25 to about 53.30 Nifty, then the shorts would give immense problems to me. Fair enough, tried. Let's see how things pan out.
Okay, Rajat, we'll absolutely wait and watch and see how your trades pan out. It's a short call on Alok Industries, a long call on all the three other stocks. Let's pull up those final calculator plates then to see where they stand at this point in time. So first off, Mr. VVL and Shastri, who's adopted a whole new strategy for day 4, and it's absolutely doing wonders for him. So making gains across the board, but overall on his entire portfolio losing about 1.5%. So 8,250 is what is coming out of his pocket at this point in time. Ashwini Gujral has seen stellar returns from day 1, absolutely marching ahead in terms of returns today as well. 14% on his entire portfolio, making a total of close to 80,000 rupees. About 73,000 is what he's clocking in at this point in time. And finally, on to Rajat Bose, bleeding on 2 stocks, Bhushan Steel as well as Jindal Steel June Futures. Alok and Hotel Leela are reaping him gains. All in all, from day 1, losing about 4%. That would be a total loss of 20,000 rupees on Rajat Bose's entire portfolio. But we'll have to see what their rationale is for picking out the individual stocks in today's session. So we'll start off with Mr. Shastri. You've gone short on a Unitech. It's under pressure, down by 2.5% in today's session. Do you see it going down to lower levels as well, close to its 52-week low anyway?
Yeah, I think so, because at this point of time, the general market sentiment plus the outlook towards the realty segment and the interest-sensitive nature of the sector in which Unitech is placed, and the way it has shown drastic degrowth in Q4, all are as indicators. I feel that the stock has to go down further, and I feel that this stock should touch in short term around 25. That is the reason I kept a sell call on this with a stop loss of around 34. So I feel that the stock will further go down.
All right, could see further pressure on a Unitech, and not just that. Remember, once again, including a Unitech, all the other shares with promoter holdings being pledged have witnessed selling pressure. Alongside a Unitech, an Escomar Nationwide as well as an Orchid Chemicals once again in today's session has started to reel under pressure. Ashwini, before we take your stock, your own sense in some of these counters, particularly after the kind of drastic sell-off that they've seen in Escomar Nationwide and Orchid Chemical once again under pressure, and even a Unitech. The theme is pretty much the same.
See, the theme is very simple. Large amounts of debt, maybe pledged shares. Realty and all of these stocks which are under some kind of cloud, they will not recover so easily. Overall market remains weak, so you will find 1 or 2 spaces which will keep getting hit every day. Now, first, a correction, 73,000 on 4 lakhs is about 18%. Secondly, Raymond's, it had a large rally from 250 to about 400, and now it started to decline. I've been saying that now those stocks will fall which haven't fallen so far. So today we've chosen Raymond. We can sell with a stop about 364, target of 335.
All right, that is the call on Raymond there. Target of 335 and a stop loss at 364. Going short on that one, the stock is down about 2.5%. Coming to you, Rajat, on your stock, your first stock, and which is a Bhushan Steel, but this time you've gone long on this counter.
Yeah, Bhushan Steel yesterday did pretty well and went up to something like 437. And normally, what you notice is that Bhushan Steel, once an upswing happens, it continues for at least 3 to 5 sessions, and chances are that it will actually park up if the market were to pick up. That is the basic rationale here, and the kind of low that it posted around 380, and from there if the stock could pick up by more than 50 points, that signals a kind of a reversal, and that's the reason why I went long on this. Now let's see how things pan out on this.
Okay, we'll have to wait and watch on a Bhushan Steel, but it's a long call coming in with a target of 457, stop at 427. Pull up the stock of a Jindal Poly. That emerges as a sell call once again in Mr. VVL and Shastri's portfolio. Mr. Shastri, you do have a lot of analysts who are pretty bullish on this counter, so you've taken a bit of a contra call. What kind of levels do you think it'll touch in the medium term?
I think given the environment of the raw materials for Jindal Poly, I mean to say putting pressure on the part of input costs, definitely this stock should find downside. So I kept a downside limit of around 265. So I went on sell call for this stock. Basically, for the PET films and BOPP and metallized and coated films, the input costs have been substantially going up, and that's very much evident from the way the company has shown the results also, because if you see on QOQ basis, the company almost came down at net levels by half, 50%. So and even the net margins have come down by 50%. So given that scenario, even the continuing input cost pricing being the same, I feel this quarter the company may bleed this quarter also. So given that, I have given a sell call.
All right, that's a Jindal Poly, a sell call coming in there. 7 days, the stock has plummeted almost 17%. Not doing a whole lot in today's session either. Come back to you, Rajat, on your second stock in a Hotel Leela is what you have. This stock is featuring, in fact, a focus on the hotel space is, come back after really long. We've probably, sidelined that sector quite a bit, considering that there was very lackluster activity in that space. Why has this caught your eye, particularly Hotel Leela?
I mean, you look at the last 2 trading sessions. I mean, this has actually posting a new low the day before, and after that it has started moving up. And all I am betting on here is that there is a possibility that this stock can move up to something like 40 odd levels in the near term, meaning say maybe in 2 to 3 trading sessions. There is a possibility, and banking on that, I have chosen this stock, and that is eminently achievable. If you ask me whether it is showing real recovery signs to warrant any investment, not yet. That I would be very comfortable if it were to really move above at least 42, if not 45 levels.
All right, that's the word coming in on a Hotel Leela. Rajat throwing light on the entire space as a whole and bullish on the counter, which is higher by about 0.6% at 37.5. Let's talk about Ashwini Gujral's second pick. He's gone short on the stock RCF in the fertilizer pack. He's placing a stop loss on the counter at a level of about 78 with a target of 65. In today's session also, it's down by just about 1.5%, quoting at levels of about 71. And even if you pull up the long-term charts of this counter, you can see it's been pretty jagged, and it is currently below both its 50 as well as its 200 daily moving average, and that's the second stock coming in Ashwini's portfolio.
But before that, in fact, just to pull up some of the other fertilizer counters as well. We had some news regarding government mulling the feasibility of giving cash subsidies to fertilizer retailers. That was news that came out day before yesterday. Yesterday, all the fertilizer counters took a hammering in the session, be it Chambal Fertilizers, the National Fertilizer, Nagarjuna Fertilizers. RCF was also one of them, and that loss is pretty much carrying forward into today's session as well. And today also, most of the fertilizer counters, except for barring a Chambal right now, which is stabilizing at that 0.7% mark. But lastly, before we go into that short break, let's quickly run you through the calculator plates of how our 3 experts are doing right now in terms of their positioning for the stock game as of day 4. So we've got Mr. Shastri's portfolio, streak of green across the board for him. He's adopted a strategy where he's going short now on 3 of his stocks, so with just one stock where he's gone long on, but still making a loss of about 2% on his portfolio. Ashwini Gujral there making a gain across the board for himself as well. This time around, he has chosen to go long on a core project, and that too is working in his favor, making 75,000 in all. And coming to Rajat Bose's portfolio, this is how it looks like. He's got a Bhushan Steel, a Hotel Leela, has gone short on 2 of the other stocks, which is Jindal Steel and Alok Textiles, and that's his total loss of about 21,000 rupees as of day 4.
Okay, lots lined up on the other side. We'll take a quick break and discuss some of the other stock picks of our 3 experts. You're tuned into the very exciting BNSN, the stock game right here on ET. Now we're in discussion with three of our experts on their individual stock picks. Ashwini didn't get a chance to touch upon an RCF. You've got a sell call on that with a stop loss at 78. If you can just throw light on the rationale there.
See, RCF has been moving in this range of about 74 to about 90. Now, yesterday it started breaking down from that range, and when a stock breaks down from such a big range which has held over last 5 odd months, chances are that it will probably go to the entire width of that range, which is 15 bucks lower. So the medium term target could be closer to 60 rupees. Overall, for the day, we've given a target of 65 with a stop loss of about 78.
All right, let's go across and figure out what the third stock in each of our experts' portfolio is. The third stock in Mr. Shastri's portfolio. Mr. Shastri, you've gone short on a Pantaloon retail. While we've been seeing pressure building up in most of these retail stocks, even a Shoppers Stop, Pantaloon retail over the last 1 week have been seeing continuous selling pressure. And while we still have the issue of FDI in multi-brand retail looming above, what's your own sense about how this stock can actually perform? And since you've given a sell call, how much further pressure are you seeing?
I feel as far as Pantaloon goes, maybe we can see this stock touching 260 on the downside, because relative to the broader market correction, that hasn't happened so in the retail segment, number one. Number two, when compared to the peer group companies in the retail segment, Pantaloon has the lowest margins, particularly the net profit margins. When you compare the operating profit margins, it has superior operating margins even when compared to Shoppers Stop. But when you come to net margins, it has very minuscule 1.5% vis-a-vis the average industry margins of around 4.5%. That makes me feel that the non-operating costs of this company are quite high, and given the general correction scenario at this point of time, the ideal fundamental price for this stock should be around 260. So given that, I have given a sell call on this counter.
Okay, so the entire retail space looks a bit weak in light of all of those announcements regarding FDI and multi-brand retail, and you can see the crack 10% down for a Pantaloon retail in a matter of just 7 days, and Mr. Shastri going short on that counter. The third stock in Ashwini Gujral's portfolio is one stock which he's got a buy call on, Core Project. Ashwini, here's a stock which has also been moving in a tight range, but do you think that after it crosses 300, how long will it take to get to those 350 levels over a long span of time?
See, where mid-cap stocks are falling 15 and 20% a day, this one has moved in a very, very narrow range. And yesterday it kind of broke out on reasonably good volume. So whenever the market stabilizes a bit, I think this could easily get back towards levels of 340, 350. For the day, we've just had a small target of about 305, and a stop loss is placed at 285.
All right, very close to its target of 305. You've got Core Projects currently trading at 299, up about 2% in session. Coming to you, Rajat, and your two final stocks, both are sell calls. Alok Industries being one of them. That's a sell call from your end. Keeping in mind how we've been seeing off late cotton prices have been shooting up. On the back of that, some of these counters have actually started to make their move upwards. Why have you picked this up for a short?
Look at it from the end of day chart point of view. After this Monday's big fall in this counter, the next 2 days you get inside day. Inside day meaning that today's the whole range of prices, trading activity happens within the range of day before's or yesterday's prices. So that gives that makes a continuation pattern, and if it is a continuation pattern, then there could be a breakdown on the downside and the stock can slide further, and that was the basic technical rationale behind taking the sell call. And also during such a formation, continuation pattern formation, volumes actually get reduced, and that is what is happening. So it pays to take a short position of this kind, provided of course you are betting on a day that may not give you the kind of move that you were expecting, but technically this is a sell call that one can give on Alok Industries, and that is the basic rationale why I took this one.
Okay, not too much of a movement in the past 1 month. Rajat is bearish on the counter, a target of 22, stop at 24, and even in today's session, no exception to that kind of downward bias that it's taking, losing a percent. Let's go across to the last pick in each of our experts' portfolios. We've got an SKS Microfinance, and Mr. Shastri, you've got a sell call coming in. The target has been triggered on that counter. Now remember that massive crash we witnessed in the month of May. It has recovered from those levels, but cracked 5% today.
In fact, I feel this stock needs to further correct because the NPA levels, particularly from the microfinancing angle, have been increasing because there are a lot of agitations by NGOs for the high interest rate that the company is charging in the name of microfinance. And there are again government orders from the AP government side, though, which have been challenged, but I feel still there is no clarity on the part of how the company can take it up forward amidst the what you call the defaults happening. The default rate is increasing throughout the country, not just restricted to AP. So given that scenario, I feel that this stock's ideal level should be below 300. So with that view, I have given a sell call, but it got triggered. So that's what it is.
Remember last week, not this week, last week SKS Microfinance did really well, in fact hitting circuits on majority of the days, but come this week you've seen that sell-off getting exaggerated and now down about 5% almost on a daily basis. This is the last 7-day chart over which it has declined almost 5%. You've seen the peak there and then it started to collapse this week. Coming to you, Ashwini, on your final stock, you've got a Lakshmi Vilas and you've got a sell call on this one.
See, Lakshmi Vilas started the most recent rally from 85 and rallied right up to 125. Now slowly it started to give up ground from 125, and if it can trade consistently below 110, I think it should head back towards those levels of 90, 92. So for the day we have a sell call on this, and we sell with a stop about 117. A target of 100 is possible here.
Okay, that's the rationale coming in on a Lakshmi Vilas Bank. Let's talk about the last pick in Rajat Bose's portfolio. This comes in from the metals pack. It's a Jindal Steel June futures, which you're bearish on. Rajat, is it a sell call coming in across the board for most of these metal counters?
You have to take, these days you have to take mostly individual stocks. As you said that in some cases some textile stocks are moving up, and but Alok Industries showing quite a bit of weakness. On the other hand, say Bhartis of the world have done very well, but Reliance Communication not done so well. So I would look at it from an individual stock point of view, and basic rationale was that it has made a new 5-month low. It is almost a 6-month low if you take away the 26th November price of the Jindal Steel front month futures, and a stock that is making fresh lows with high volume is an ideal candidate for selling, and that was the basic reason why I chose this counter as a sell trade. That is the basic rationale, and this tends to fall pretty much on a single day, so maybe it could give me some money there.
High beta stock making its 5-month low on the back of heavy volumes, at that an ideal candidate to go short on according to Rajat Bose. So that's what he's done. A stock down about 0.1%. Before I take our time and thank my experts for joining us on the show, let's quickly run you through their calculator plays. Gains across the board. Mr. Shastri going short on his entire portfolio, taking a bearish stance this afternoon, recouping some of his losses, but still down about 8,000 to 9,000 rupees in his portfolio since day one. Ashwini Gujral, he's been the undisputed champ since day one. Once again, all of his counters making him money. Good money on Raymond, RCF, went long on a coal project. That too is reaping him benefits. Closer to 15% gains on his portfolio since day one. Coming to Rajat's portfolio, and this is how it looks like. He went short on Jindal Steel and Alok Industries. He's making money on Alok, losing on Jindal Steel, and overall his portfolio is losing close to 4.5%. On that note, I'd like to take our time and thank each and every one of you for joining in this leg. Tomorrow is the finale. We'll meet you back at 11 o'clock with your new stocks. Mr. Shastri, Ashwini as well as Rajat, thanks a lot for joining in on this stock game.
Okay, so it's an exciting session for tomorrow that we'll be looking forward to.
I want to see if Ashwini touches 1 lakh.
Of course, everyone does. I'm sure he will. But of course, if luck is on his side. But don't go anywhere, because on the other side, we're taking on individual stock queries that you sent in with Rajat Bose.